I loved to read when I was young, and I read what was available, like all kids who like to read. Whatever's there, if it's the cereal box, you know, if there's a magazine, if there are books. My mother always took me to the library.
Lots of my books have been challenged. My very first novel for kid, to my tremendous surprise, was challenged. I couldn't imagine why, and then it turns out that the heroine's father, who is a school principal, encourages her when she's going off to give a talk to assembly about equality by saying, "Give 'em hell, kid." And this was offensive to people, not only because this man said, "Give 'em hell," but because he was a school principal, a man in authority.
You know, there's a whole group that says I ruined Christmas forever because in Super Fudge, Fudge says, "I know there's really no Santa." So they want the book removed. So, you know, I'm just giving you examples. The mother who said that Blubber was too terrible for her child to read because her child was overweight.
Kids should be allowed to read that kind of stuff because for like kids that are overweight, it's important for them to know that they're not alone. And for kids that aren't overweight, it's important for them to know how other people feel.
It sort of taught me, you know, not to make fun of people.
Well, people think just because the books are real that they're bad, like they're about real things. So, like, people might just be embarrassed, so they wouldn't want people to read them.
It helps you to know the things, so it's not a surprise when they come, or so that you know what's going to happen.
Things like growing up, I mean, getting your period, it's like nobody would talk about this. And then the book started to go around, and then suddenly you can talk about it.
I had learned what it was, but it was kind of scary. And then to be able to read from another young girl's experience, it demystified it. And then, yeah, and I think we did talk about it. And I almost would imagine that a teacher would send it around to all the girls to read.
In every book, you usually find a character, like even a character that's only mentioned once or twice, that is sort of like you in a way. Like they're quiet, they're shy, they're tall, they're stupid, they're nice, they're whatever.
And Deanie was the one who had the scoliosis, and I mean, I remember that being very comforting growing up, because you're relating to somebody who's going through. I mean, we've all felt like we were outside the circle at times, and I think you know, you could feel like you bonded with somebody else who'd been through the same type of experience.
And that relates to my friend, because I have a friend that had a brace, and so she read it and then she recommended it to me because it made her feel good.
These books came at the right time.
They didn't scare you.
They didn't scare me. They didn't, you know, I didn't lose sleep at night because of Judy Blume.
You didn't go out and do something you shouldn't because of Judy Blume.
No,
yeah.
You felt like you were getting good guidance.
You were okay.
It's you and the book, and I think that so much of my childhood was developed on what I read in books, and it's the best way to access these feelings.
I got stung by a bee. I won't tell you where. I got stung by a bee. I was just lying there. And it tattooed a message I can't let you see. It spells out, "Hello, you've been stung by a bee."
Stop reading. I'm taking this book away from you because someone in it is naked.
In 1992, kids in Duval County, Florida public libraries had to get permission from their parents to read this book because of its caricature of a person stung by a bee.
When I did learn what was going on, I felt completely alone, because the publishers weren't prepared to do anything about it. Nobody was taking a stand. They were giving in to this kind of fear. They were afraid. They were in a business to make money. I had no idea what to do. And then I learned about the National Coalition Against Censorship.
My life changed almost overnight, because suddenly I wasn't alone anymore. I had somebody there with me. There was somebody there for the teachers and librarians and the students and the parents who wanted books to remain available for their kids. And
This book is our way of saying thank you to National Coalition Against Censorship, now under the able direction of Joan Burton and her really hard-working small group of colleagues. They do a remarkable job.
You got your books signed?
Yes, they all got their books.
Did you pick your own personal favorites?
Did I get all of yours?
No? I'm Lydia.
Lydia. L-Y-D-I-A?
Fear is contagious when the parent runs into school waving a book and demands the removal of that book from the school library or the classroom library. When the principal gives the word to the librarian or teacher, we don't want any controversial materials here, just don't use anything that's going to give us trouble. It's just this domino effect that reaches back and has a chilling effect on writers and readers and the teachers and the librarians.